Hi, Katie.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being willing to spend some time exploring and sharing a little bit after what's been a week of remarkable workshop, playing and conjuring and conspiring and expressing together people from all over the world. As you know by now, my way of seeing the world right now is that we are involved with the most important circumstances and conversation that humanity's ever had to face. And I'm just struck by how you and Jem have put together both of your expertise and skill sets and passion and are starting to address what is horribly huge need of a way to make sense of this for people. And the buzz phrase at the moment is deep adaptation. How can we adapt ourselves, do the deep inner work that might prepare us to be more present in the face of large-scale stressors in our lives. And I'm wondering if you would just share with us a bit, what's it like to be you, bringing those gifts to these times, and having just finished up your first real prototype of this experience to offer to others. How are you doing, and what's it like to be at this point in the process for you?
I love the way that you describe this being the most important question that humanity has ever had to have together, because that's exactly how I feel as well. And it feels to me as if that's something I've always been longing for. Before this retreat, a long time before this retreat, I had been thinking about how to describe the work that I do and want to be doing with people, and the only umbrella term that I could come up with was being with people in groups to explore what it means to be human together. And this is coming, collapse of life as we know it, whatever that means, is coming. And for me it feels almost immaterial whether it came tomorrow or next year or 5 years' time or 10 years' time or 100 years' time. The way that I have been living my life up to a few years ago, and a few years ago what happened was I was forced to confront the reality. I thought I had, and I learnt that I hadn't. But the way that I had been living was kind of a dance of delusion. I had purpose in life, and I had a job that meant so much to me, and I had a close group of friends that meant so much to me. And then really accepting the reality, I mean viscerally accepting the reality of what's to come, invited me to realise that it was always to come, from a bigger perspective. Human society as we know it is not permanent, but we live as if it is. And we live as if we can make it more and more permanent every moment. And what I found is that the conversations I'm having with other people, and not just the conversations but the connections, the felt sense of connection with people and planet, and the way in which I relate with myself has transformed to bring a kind of aliveness that I didn't even know was missing from my life. And so after this week spent with remarkable people and generous people and courageous people, I wouldn't say fearless people, but people who have been willing to sit and be with and express and share their fear, has just been such a privilege and has deepened my sense of connection, deepened my understanding so much of what it means to be me, to be human, to be this human, and yeah, resourced me in amazing ways.
So today is Friday, the last day of the Deep Adaptation workshop, and I feel a soft pain in my chest, which is good because I often numb myself, and I numb myself because sometimes just the grief of life is so big. And today I was thinking this soft pain comes from my own emotional turmoil, and then I was thinking of the place of collapse in it, and in some ways I don't know how to integrate it because I think there is this soft pain about my own personal turmoil, and now if I have to integrate the turmoil, bigger turmoil around me, I think I would just collapse. And I noticed a resistance. Yeah, all through the week actually, to really take in this message. And yet I was really touched. There were moments when people showed their deep anger, the sorrow, where I felt that I was seeing this collective trauma. I was reconciliating with it. But it's a dance. And I welcome it in some moments, and in other moments I keep it away. And I'm a bit, I want to learn how to bring this personal and collective trauma closer in that dance, not deep in and out as I do right now. I want to honor more what went out in people in this week, because there is a collective trauma, and there will be more with the collapse we are going to face in different ways. And if I'm not ready to dance that tango more closely between my personal trauma and collective trauma, I feel scared that I will not be ready emotionally. hold, to be there for the family, the community, myself, and what I honor as value. Yeah, thank you.
So for me, this week of deep adaptation has been a week of awareness, a week of reconnecting, a week of allowing certain emotions to come up to the surface in order to address them and take a leap forward into action. Areas that were dark for me that I was afraid to tap into are becoming clearer and clearer. Feelings and emotions that I was very much afraid of, I'm now able to at least entertain the idea of connecting with them and not them being so big and fearful. And even to use those feelings in order to implement change. There was a particular situation where I was trying to avoid certain feelings, and I was trying to be more black and white around certain things and certain situations, or just walk away. And now I'm able to voice the actual feeling that comes up instead of withdrawing or setting my boundaries and saying, you know what, this is the way that I'm feeling right now, and I'd prefer for you to behave that way. Mm-hmm. So that's very much clearer to me compared to the first day when I came here. And that's definitely through the work that we've done.
Mm-hmm. Being in process with each other really allowed me to open my heart even more. Mm-hmm. Because there were moments where there was triggers, and I'm like, but we're all here with humanity, and yeah, this is nothing. This is the heart is what, and my heart kept expanding and expanding, So that was, I think, the most valuable aspect of this, that, it allows for our resilience, to recognize that we can actually rub against each other or disagree or come from different cultures and perspectives. And those are all superficial at the end of the day, and just drop to our hearts and unite in our common vision, our common goal. And that's where we are one, and that's where we're solid. And we can really, really kind of unite towards the healing and health of each and every one of us to the best of our ability.
And I suppose as I think about it now, which I haven't thought about before, it is out of the places where we have been hurting and wounded that the love that we have been experiencing together has come. And for myself, I think the greatest privilege of this time, this week, has been beyond what anybody said or did or any wonderful session. It has been the profound privilege of sitting in a circle with other people who have been willing to be with what I've been sitting with these last few years, and feel the sense of being deeply connected to others who've been navigating the same territory. And that has been an absolute gift beyond anything that we said. We could have sat in silence. Yeah.
So this week of deep adaptation has been a kind of kaleidoscope of colors, of flavors, of textures, of people, of places, like what's behind me right now, of emotions, of cognitive, of things I've learned, of people I've gotten to know better. And I think I don't want to reach any conclusions until, well, I think all conclusions are tentative, but I don't want to reach conclusions until sometime after I leave here. But I would say for now, I feel more resilient. I feel more alive. I feel more able to cope with the reason we need deep adaptation, the consequences of what we've done to the climate and what the climate is now doing to us. in return. And I walk away, I won't use the word hopeful, but I walk away with a stronger possibility that I can be a source of knowledge and energy for other people walking on a similar path. So I'm extremely grateful to be here and for the opportunity.
It's been quite a trip these days. I came to be prepared for rough changes, and I changed myself for the best. And this is something that I will not forget. It sounds harsh, but for me at this time, one of the best things that has happened is preparing for the collapse of the world in a way. I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but this preparation has given me many things. The 4 R's. Let's start with resilience. And as I understand it, it's to find out the factors of your life and besides your life, of your family life, or community life, that have to be hardened and become bigger and stronger, so that we can move to this next phase, whatever it will be. And these factors are many. It starts with my body, which is not very resilient actually now. So there's no bigger resilience than creating group of peoples that groups of people that are close together and they support each other. We cannot do it alone. I read about preppers in the States, where people are preparing themselves to be alone. They build underground bunkers. But I don't think that this is the solution. The solution is to have people with you and to create strength out of many factors together and out of the differences, the different qualities that each person has.
This week of Deep Adaptation has been an experience. It's been very emotional. I am so appreciative of the opportunity to come here and be with this group of people that have the same concerns, grappling with the same issues. I think after the parenting session last night, and I was thinking about it before, but I think more so now, I feel a sense of responsibility to talk to my kids more about what this means in their life. We always talk about climate change and, political issues and, how we're dealing with it and, what it's doing to food. But I think I have a sense of responsibility that they really need to understand how urgent the issue is, and that they're going to be making important life choices in the next while in their early 20s. So I sense that responsibility. So I'm looking forward to discussing it with them after this.
I think this week for me has been about connections. Connections with parts of myself and community and nature in ways that I don't do maybe in my day-to-day life. And that's such a breath of fresh air that I really needed or wanted, I guess, and really enjoyed. We talk about resilience. To me, resilience, inner resilience, is about just having that opportunity to discover sort of different pockets in myself that I didn't know or wanted to that I didn't know exist or I wanted to expand, and I did have that opportunity this week to do so with so many supportive, just wonderful, amazing people who came together and open, accepting from day one. It's sort of dream community. And even criticisms or differences are handled in a way that's gentle and loving. And I don't use the word love so often because I'm Chinese. So, like for me, that is resilience. And also restore that sense of community. Those who I resonate with. It's like a harmonious Zen sound, and that is restoration, is healing. Yeah, very, very grateful to be part of this week. Thank you.
A key thing for me this week about deep adaptation is this idea of taking on board my own deep adaptation agenda. That I have an agenda now. I'm now living more fully with the urgency of our climate crisis. Whereas perhaps prior to this, I saw it, I knew it, I accepted it, but now I am grateful for the sense of urgency so that I now am more willing to dig in deeper to all those things that I love, for my interest in Buddhism, for example, for my interest in being less of a controlling parent, for my interest in slowing down, as ironic as that sounds, with the urgency we have at hand. I feel the call that has been calling me all along is just that much louder, that much more important, and makes me feel ready. My deep adaptation agenda makes me feel more ready than I did prior to this.
Let us eat lettuce and pee on our peas, all giving the earth the nitrogen she needs. It may sound strange, strange, but as parts we're whole. So are we so dependent on
yeah, it just reminds me that, you know, I'm ready, you know, I'm ready to go forward and look at this with fresh eyes, more compassionate eyes, more with a more heartfelt approach rather than a head first approach. And I'd just like to thank all the participants for taking the time to come here, being the amazing people that they are.
And I really learned a lot from all of you, I guess, about sharing, how you do that. I never had to do anything like that before. And slowly, I awakened, I think, and made me feel almost like new. And I'm really very grateful, as I said maybe already several times, but I'm really grateful for everything that everybody shared with us, and which was really helpful and inspiring for me as well. And it was stimulating as well. I have been able to be more in touch with my deeper feelings and not only pushing and action, but more connected. And that's one of my challenges for going back home as well, to keep that and stay in touch with my feelings and keep feeling this big love and keep feeling close to my contacts. And
So I believe that we just start a connection.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want to say that I had moments that I really saw the truth and I was so touched by it, but I didn't know how to express that in return for what I saw and how it touched me. And that really pains me. It really, really deeply pains me. I feel I didn't honor something to them and to myself in particular. And yeah, I feel a bit of grief today actually. Yeah, grieving. You will all leave, and I will do a honoring something in my own heart, maybe alone. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm quite aware of what I would need to relinquish. We'll have to see how I'm going to support that when I'm back home. Creating the group, the shared space after we leave will be very much helpful. I want to have it all, but I think the idea of relinquishing certain things in order to allow other things or the qualities to emerge is somewhat very, very important. And these are things I'm going to have to work on with ferocious love, which is the term we used yesterday. Ferocious love. If I love myself enough, I have to make sure that I implement those things to relinquish certain things, such as the way that I consume, even living in the city, even my method of transportation. All these things I will have to kind of review that with of course, a support system in place. So that's all for me for now.
I'm curious, and thank you for saying what you're saying. I'm curious if you just had a couple of more moments and you had the opportunity to say something to the people that you've spent this week with, what would you say?
Thank you. I would say thank you for being authentic to who they are. Thank you for sharing who they are, with clarity, without trying to escape the situation. I'm very thankful and grateful for the gifts that they brought with themselves, and whatever they shared with me, or even the silence was very helpful too. You can read through that. I would say thank you to all of them for their beautiful gifts, and I would also say that I'm here for you. That's what I would like to share with them, to reach out, and if I can help support in any way, I'm definitely here for you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I think just what I'd like to say is what a extraordinary experience it was to feel really able to be so vulnerable and feel a strange juxtaposition with the strength that I'm very familiar with in myself, and the fragility that I was sitting with all week, and how grateful I am for that too, because in that there was perhaps a tenderness and an openness that might not have been there otherwise, that has been like having all of those people come into my heart on steroids. Yeah.
This seminar has reminded me of what's important and what's not. Not only for the death of certain kind of civilization, but for my life also. And it may hear again sarcastic, but maybe the collapse for some people could be one of the best things that may have happened to their life. I don't want to diminish the drama of Earth and society and the extinction of plants and animals, but there is this aspect also. Thank you.
Thank you.